Please welcome back to another video. So today I'll be doing my nails and I decided to do a blood rose ombre set. So this black nail, as you guys can see, is very chunky and I was not going to record this, but I want to show you guys how I'm going to fix it because I am going to be encapsulating a rose on this nail, but as it is now, it is way too thick. So I am going to allow it to set and I'm going to move on to my ombre nail. So I am starting off with the black acrylic at the tip. And I am working with this in very small beads. Now black is something that can be very miserable to work with and very sticky, so I do drain the excess liquid out of my brush before placing that bead onto the nail. This helps to give me a little more control over that black. Working that black down the nail as well, I am going to make sure not to have any harsh lines. But guys, blending out black is so difficult. Like, it's never going to give you a smooth transition unless you have a very nice, strong, opaque base color. So I'm just going to work with it until I'm happy with it, and then I'm going to move on to my pinky finger. After I do the black tips, I do allow them to set, and then I'm going to go back to my ring finger. So we're going to fix the black before we start with the red. So I'm taking my carbide bit, and this is a 3-way carbide bit from todakusa.com, and I'm going to go over this nail, working the tip of my barrel to the cuticle area, the center of my barrel where the apex is, and the part of the barrel closest to my fingers I'm going to use for the free edge of the extension. And I'm going to start tinning this black down. Now you do want to be careful. I did speed it up a bit, but I am working very slow and careful because I don't want to go too far down, because too far down I'm going to hit that nail, or I'm going to hit that thin layer of clear acrylic, and I don't want that. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and use my red acrylic powder, and I am going in and create my 3D rose. If you guys want a more in-depth, detailed video on how I do my roses, I will have it on the screen in the cards, and I would also link it in my description box below so you guys can check that video out. The only difference with that video and this one is that that rose was done on top of a nail. Now my clients do love their 3D nice and flat, so it's the same technique I use even with my encapsulated roses. showing you guys how nice and flat that nail actually is. It gives us room to encapsulate. So that was a side view, and this is what it looks like on top. So while I leave my roses to harden, I'm going to go in on my black faded nails, and I'm going to attempt to do an ombre with the red acrylic. Now this red acrylic is not as opaque as I wanted it to, and I probably should have just added some white to it. This is the CM Nails, I think it's T3 acrylic powder. I'm not sure of the number, but I would have it in my description box below for you guys, for those of you who are interested. And this is also her black acrylic. So for my application today, I know I don't usually tell you guys much, but I am using my Alpha number 10 Oval Kalinsky, and it is linked in my description box below, as well as my coupon code. And I'm just going to continue working with that red until I'm happy with the way that the fade looks, and I'm going to move on to my thumb. Now I did do the ombres only on my pinky and my thumb. I did the rose on my ring finger. I left my index finger with just clear acrylic, and on my middle finger I did not record because I didn't realize that my battery was dead. But I did do a fade with that red just midway up the nail of itself, and I left the tip of it clear. So here's what those nails look like so far. I have not encapsulated them as yet, so I am showing you this is what I did on the middle finger, and it is nice and thin, so I do have to go ahead and encapsulate all these nails. Now the problem with encapsulating with acrylic is that it's nothing like polygel, right? So I picked up too much of a big bead of clear acrylic, and I was working with it way too slow. I'm leaving it in real time so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So it was drying and it just was not right. Okay, it was not right. So I went ahead and I removed this as much as possible, and I'm going in with a smaller bead right where my fade is, because I didn't even need to encapsulate that red because it was thick enough as it is. I just need to protect my fade and that black at the free edge, and we're going to fix that mishap. And I did leave that in to share with you guys because I want you to see that these videos don't always look as perfect as they are. There are mess ups, and we do have to figure out a way to fix it. This was not that bad. It was just like I got so used to working with the polygel and it not setting on me until I actually cure it that transitioning back to acrylic has been a little bit more difficult on myself especially. I am going to go ahead and encapsulate all the nails. I did allow it to set, and I'm going to show you how I filed these nails back into shape because they ended up being a little bit thicker than what I would be comfortable with. So I'm just going to run through my filing routine really quickly with you guys in this video, and if you want it more in depth, I will have that video on the cards, and it's always listed in my description box below so you guys can check it out. I go through step by step on how I would shape and file my acrylic nails. So here I'm sharing with you guys what they look like before they have been filed. The cuticle area and the application is not as horrible as I thought. So I'm going in with my 180 grit hand file because I ran out of 100 grit files, and I'm using the straight side to my file, and I'm filing at a 45-degree angle on the sides and a 90-degree angle at the free edge of the extension. And I'm going back in with that same 3-way carbide drill bit, and this is not a safety bit, but I love using it around the cuticle area on myself and on my clients. I'm just comfortable with using it. I do, however, make sure it's on a low enough speed where I can manage, or I'm comfortable with managing it. If you feel more comfortable using a safety bit, that's fine. I just find this gets into the side walls and around the cuticle area nice and tight, so this works best for me. So when I'm finished with the carbide, I'm going in with another hand file, but this one is an older one. I have been using this one just for this purpose. It actually helps to remove all the extra scratches from the drill and smoothen out the tip of my acrylic before I go in and buff that nail, which I'm doing right now. After doing this, I do take a dust brush with some alcohol in it, and I'm going to use that to cleanse this nail nice and clean. So after I show you guys what the finished file nail looks like, I'm going to go ahead off camera and just finish filing my nails. With all the nails completed except my pointer finger, I did go in and apply my black gel polish. I cured it, removed the tacky layer, and I went in with some foil glue, allow that to dry, and now I'm just going in with this gorgeous red nail art foil, and I'm just going to randomly press this in spots across the nail. I don't want it to look too perfect, I want it to look patchy, and I'm going to apply 2 coats of my no wipe gel top coat on top of this to make sure that I secure that foil and the nail does not chip. So after looking at the nails when I completed this nail, I felt like my middle finger with that clear tip was missing something, and I just applied some red Swarovski crystals, and that was it for this set. I applied my gel top coat to all the nails and my cuticle oil, and of course I will have a picture at the end of the video to share with you guys because I did not get a video clip of this set, and unfortunately I only got one picture because I did this while I was actually waiting for my client to arrive. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and while you're there, turn your post notifications on so that you don't miss a beat when I upload next. As always, I'd love for you guys to keep safe, and I'll see you soon.